أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله الذي علمنا أن نحمد والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الخلق سيدنا Muhammad. Respected brothers and sisters, young and elders, welcome back to another session of Quranic Arabic, and today inshallah we are going to work with Surah An-Naas. Remember, we are working with frequently utilized texts from the Quran. We started this class with the most frequently words used from the Quran. Now we moved on with most frequently used texts. We already explained Surah Al-Fatiha, the vocab of that surah, some of the profound meanings. We talked also about Surah Al-Ikhlas, Qul Huwallahu Ahad. Last week we talked about Qul A'udhu bi Rabbil Falaq, Surah Al-Falaq, and today we are going to work with Surah An-Naas. The surah starts just like the previous surah. قل هو الله أحد قل أعوذ برب الفلق قل أعوذ برب الناس. It starts with the command verb قل, which means say. So it is the same word. قل, which means say. So we have three surahs right next to each other, after each other, that start with this verb, command. قل, say. Say something. And the ulama note that any surah that starts with this verb, this command was given to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to answer a question. In this case, the question was made by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself when he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to take care of the situation when he was under the influence of magic. Now remember that only his body, he felt sick, because his mind and his delivery to the message is always protected by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So magic will affect the body only, like a prophet of Allah getting sick, and that is possible just like Prophet Ayub alayhi salam got sick. So we have the word qul, which means say. Qul a'udhu. Qul a'udhu. We also work with this word. The word isti'adha or ta'awudh is derived from the same root verb. A'udhu means to seek refuge. Let's write it. Qul a'udhu say, I seek refuge. A'udhu. The word ta'awudh or isti'adha is derived also from this word. Qul a'udhu bi rabbi An-Naas. The ba, we talked about it. It means in. For example, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the eternally merciful, the infinitely compassionate. Aktubu, I write. Bil qalam, I write with the pen. So the letter ba, when it is attached to a noun, it means in or with, which means that when I say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, I'm saying that in the name of Allah, meaning I am submerged, I am within that protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is surrounding me. Also, it means with. I am using the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a tool to start whatever task I'm doing. So now say, I seek refuge, protection, in and with the Rabb, the Lord of the people. And Nas means people. Nas, people. And the word Nas has been utilized in the Quran to refer also to jinn and ins. Jinn and ins. So it talks about humanity and it talks about the species of jinn. But most commonly used in Arabic language, this word means humans or humanity. So say, I seek refuge in the Rabb of the people, the Rabb of humanity. Now remember that this word Rabb is very, very important. We said in Surah Al-Fatiha that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after introducing Himself, Alhamdulillah, He's saying, praise and all thank is due to Allah. My name is Allah. The first thing you should know about me is I am the Rabb. Alhamdulillahi Rabb. From this same word in the Arabic language, we have the word tarbiyah. And tarbiyah means to educate, nourish, and to raise and bring up. So we say that the parents make tarbiyah for the children because they take care of them, they nourish them, they give them what they need. The word Rabb is used with the father of the family. He is Rabbul Usra. The word Usra means family. The father is Rabbul Usra. He takes care of the family. He brings up, cherishes the family. The lady, she is also called Rabbatu with a ta, feminine, Al-Usra. So this word is very, very important. And it is interesting to know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our Rabb. So He is the controller, He is the creator, He is the sustainer. But also He is telling us that He is responsible of our development, our spiritual development, our mind development. He takes care of the believers just like a father and mother take care of their family. So say, I seek refuge in and with the Rabb of the people. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Now what else Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us in the second ayah? قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ مَلِكِ النَّاسِ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Al-Malik. Malikin Nas. And the word Malik means king. Al-Malik, king. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the Malik, the king of the people. This word Malik indicates what? It indicates somebody who gives rules, regulations and law. Also the one who judges. In Surah Al-Fatiha we have dual recitation. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam learned both from Hadrat Jibreel alayhi salam. In Surah Al-Fatiha you could recite Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim Maliki, which means the owner, Yawmiddin, Maliki Yawmiddin. The second recitation that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam recited also Maliki Yawmiddin. So Allah is the Malik and is the Malik of the day of judgment. In Surah An-Naas, He introduces Himself as the King of the people. And again, the King indicates that He is the one who has the right to give laws, regulation, Sharia, because He is the designer and manufacturer. The best word for it is the Khaliq of the people, right? Everything comes with a manual. Every manufacturer sells the product with a manual. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, look, human being, you are the most complicated machine on the earth. Therefore, I'm giving you the manual, that is the Quran. But because you are so complicated, you need an engineer to tell you how to use yourself and how to understand that manual. And the engineer is the Prophet of Allah. Any company you go to, subhanallah, they purchase a very sophisticated machine. And the company, the manufacturer sends this big books to teach you how to operate it. But you can't do it on your own. It's so complicated. So they send an engineer to make life easy for you how to apply the manual. So Malik An-Nas, the king of the people. What else do you know about him in the surah? Ilahin Nas. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ilahin Nas. And the word Ilah means the only one who deserves to be served and worshipped. The Ilah. Right? And remember when we talked about the word Allah, in the mind of the Arab, there are three meanings that come. In the language of the Arab, three meanings come to the mind when we say the word Allah or the word Ilah. The word Allah indicates three meanings. Number one, the one that must be worshipped alone. You worship Him, right? Number two, the Arab used to say, لَاهَ الْفَصِيلُ إِلَى أُمِّهِ. The little camel ran to its mother. For what? For food and protection. And the Arab used to say, laha najmu, when the star becomes invisible. So Allah, the word Allah in the mind of the Arab already is given some meaning. Number one, the one that should be worshipped. Number two, the one that you run to for food and protection and shelter, just like the little camel, right? And number three, you cannot see him, but you feel his presence, and because of his creation, you know, it is the sign on his existence and his power. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ilah An-Nas. Ilah An-Nas, the one that should be worshipped. Now look at this, these three names in Surah An-Nas. Allah started by saying, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, Rabb, Malik, and Ilah. Because of these three attributes, what comes up is very important, and it relates to these names. What comes up next? Now we are seeking refuge in Rabb al-Nas, in Malik al-Nas, in Ilah al-Nas. From what? Min sharri. What does the word min mean? Min means what? From. And sharri, we already introduced this word in the previous surah. Min sharri, from the evil. Min sharril al-waswas. Al-Khannas. So we are seeking protection, refuge, shelter in the Rabb of the people, in the King of the people, and in the Ilah, the one that should be worshipped, right, of the people. From what? From the evil of al-waswas. The word waswas, waswasa, means to whisper. Something that whispers. And when we say waswasa, that whispering is bad. You say, wait a minute, is there a good whispering? Yes. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says in the hadith, Inna lil malaki lammatan bibni Adam wa inna lish shaytani lamma. That the angel whispers in the heart of the human being, and the shaitan also whispers. But the angel always whispers something good. So Rasulullah ﷺ called it lamma. The word waswas always means bad whispering. Somebody who is trying to convey a message in a subtle way, in a secret way. Could be direct or indirect. So how does shaitan do it? By talking to me using my nafs. That's one of his greatest weapons. So I think, that I'm talking to myself, but most of the time it is shaitan that is using my nafs. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of his nature, the nature of jinn and shaitan, they have the ability to whisper. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, waswas, always whispers, secretly, using the nafs, creating that inner voice. The first description about this waswas is that he is khannas. And the word khanasa, yakhnusu, khannas, it means the one who withdraws and runs away. When? When we remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with dhikr. Give me examples. Classical example. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam says in a beautiful hadith, and all the speech of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam is beautiful. When the adhan is called, shaitan runs away, miles away. He runs miles away. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, farting. He will be farting. These jets, they go very fast, and they have, this turbo engine. Yeah, like that, Runs away when he hears the adhan. Then he comes back. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, when the iqamah is called, he also runs away, far away. Now, when we are engaged in salah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam continues and he comes and he starts whispering and telling you, remember this, remember that, recall this, recall that. Do you know the joke of the owner of the 4 stores?
Yes.
Remember that story?
Yeah.
Okay, you tell it to other people, inshallah. Okay, so we seek refuge min sharri, from the evil of the one who whispers, but subhanallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so merciful. He made him khannas. Anytime, at the moment we remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he just runs away, he just, withdraws. That's the word khannas. Khannas is the one that runs away, withdraws, or, like immediately he's like turned off with the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, especially the statement, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. Okay, من شر الوسواس الخناس. Now there comes a word that we covered before, الذي. Who remembers the meaning of the word الذي? الذي. الذي يا أيها الذين آمنوا, that's the plural. الذي is singular. So what is the meaning of الذي? الذي, the one who. الذي, the one who. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يا أيها الذين آمنوا, O you who believe. الذي is the singular form. The one. The one who. الذي, what does he do? The one يوسوس. يوسوس في صدور الناس. The one who. Now, al-waswas, the one who whispers. Yuwaswis is the verb. Min sharril waswas, the whisperer. It's a noun. Yuwaswis is the verb, the one who does that action. The action of waswasa, which means whispers. The one who whispers in, where is the place? Sudur. Sudur is the plural of sadr, and sadr is chest. What do I have in my sadr? The heart. Right? The king. The king of the organs, said Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is the heart. That's why the heart gives the order, right? So the mind is like one of the ministers trying to influence the decision of the king. The nafs is another minister trying to influence the decision of the king. But ultimately, this is the one who takes the decision. So the one who whispers, fi means in, sudur, the chests of the people. The one who, yuwaswis is whispers, fi means in, sudur, chests, and nas, in the people. So shaitan is always trying to influence the heart. He wants to play a role in the decision of the king. The king of the organs is the heart. Rasulullah ﷺ said, as you know, certainly in the human body there is a mudgha, an organ. If it is sound and good, then the rest of the body becomes good. If it's not good, then the rest of the body becomes sick or ill, and that is the heart. Okay. الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس. So now we are seeking refuge, protection, shelter in Allah being the Rabb, Allah being the Malik, the King, Allah being the Ilah, our Ilah, the one who we worship. Now remember, what is the difference between Rabb and Ilah? Generally speaking, when we talk about Rabb, we are talking about the actions of Allah toward the creation. Allah is the only creator, the only sustainer, the only controller. It's the actions of Allah toward the creation. Now when we talk about the word Ilah, we are talking about our actions going up toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when I say La ilaha illallah, it means my ibadah from us to Him. My salah, my worship, my dua, my sacrifice, my niyyah, it always should be only for Him. So Rabb is from Him toward the creation. Ilah is from us, our a'mal, our deeds toward Him. And now we are seeking refuge in Allah being the Rabb of the creation, the mankind, and also our a'mal are important, that goes up to Him. So we have to pay attention to this combination as we seek refuge against the shaitan, against al-waswas al-khannas. Which means that we have to have the yaqeen that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in control, but at the same time there are certain things that we have to do as worshippers of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that protection becomes what? Complete. Make sense what I'm saying? Okay, so now let's go to the last ayah. الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ. Now there are two types of whisperers. And this will explain to you why this surah is called Surah An-Naas. Because we have another surah that is called Suratul Jinn. Right? So let's go to this final ayah, which is very, very interesting. So now we are seeking refuge in Allah being the Rabb, the Ilah, the Malik, the Ilah, from the one who whispers in the chests of the people, in the hearts of the people. And this whisperer is of two types. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Minal Jinn. There's a kasra under the jim, otherwise you might pronounce it Jannah. No, it's Jinnah. Minal Jinnati wan nas. What does it mean? قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. We seek refuge in the Rabb of the people. Malik al-Nas, the king of the people. Ilah al-Nas, the one that we worship. The one that the people, the mankind should worship alone. Min sharril waswas al-khannas, from the evil of the whisperer who withdraws. Alladhi, the one, yuwaswisu, whispers, fi suduri, in the chests, an-nas, of the people. This whisperer is min al-jinnati wan nas, from the jinn and from the people. Which means that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that the whisperer is two kinds. The jinn and people. You say people whisper, say, oh, big time. Big time. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that the human being also whispers, because he understands our language, he understands our culture, he understands our customs, he's a human being, he understands our weaknesses. So humans also whisper. But just like the jinn whisper in a good way, if they are good jinn, believer jinn, and if they are shaitan, they are going to whisper in bad things. Also insan, if he is a believer, he is always going to, give that insight, good ideas, positive ideas, ideas that are consistent with the Sharia, consistent with the Quran and Sunnah. But otherwise, it becomes a problem that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is teaching us to seek refuge. In Surah Al-Falaq, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only mentions one name. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Why? Because that falaq, that process in the creation is under the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But now here, Allah is mentioning what? Rabb, King. Rabb means Lord. King and Ilah. Which means that these three names play a crucial role in Surah An-Naas. We have to have yaqeen that He is the controller. We have to follow His Sharia and worship Him alone with ikhlas. Then to seek refuge against the whispering of the jinn and the people becomes very easy. So this is Surah An-Naas. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from all evil, all kind of evil. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the barakah of the Quran. Wa jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Until next time, inshallah.